G'day humans, Chris Stead here. Today I'm reviewing the Oztrail All-in-One Kitchen. Oztrail All-in-One Kitchen, which is something I've had my eye on for a little while. Want to know whether it would fit our use case and thought I'd tell you our experiences with it, see if it fits yours. Now these things cost $279 here, recommended retail price. I've seen them going for about $249, so you can get a little bit down if you have a look around. So obviously the idea with this one is, well, for us anyway, we had before this a trestle table that we used to come and pack, and then we had like a shelving unit of these that kind of stacked up, and together that was quite a bit of space. And it wasn't technically as usable as this. So this whole station packs down to this bag here, which is heavy. It's about 30 kilograms, I think, once it's all in there. And it's a little bit awkward because it's got a side pocket like this, so it becomes like a bit of an L shape. So it's a little bit awkward to unpack as a result and stack, but it does pack down and it's quite heavy as well, as I mentioned, but it does get everything down to that. Now, what you get as part of this is about 1 metre wide space to prepare. You get the back, which gives you a bit of a wind block, depending on how you angle it, of course. And you also get some hooks up here for tongs and so forth. A little spice rack that you can put a couple of things in, easy access. This is quite a good material. I wouldn't want to put stuff that's really hot in it. In fact, we burnt it a little bit last night, but it's not that kind of really cheapy feeling melamite stuff, and it's also not that silver kind of flexy table stuff you see sometimes. It stacks up. It's a bit more of a nicer surface than that, and it's an okay amount of space without being great. Now under here you got your storage, which comes with a hard bit, a decent piece of material there. Gives you a bit of a hard bottom for storing. Now, obviously you can sometimes put your food in there. Where the place that we're camping at the moment has got heaps of dingoes, so keeping our food in the tent and in boxes. And you've got 3 separate shelves over here as well, another 3 shelves over here. And then you've got the shelf underneath. Now the shelf, I'm assuming you could probably fit pans under there, but you couldn't fit pots under there. It's a bit of a curiosity. I would have liked to have seen this shelf actually over here. Now over here you've got this silver mesh frame, and what this does is it is for a stove. So you can sit your stove in this. Stove's got its own back windbreak, giving you a double windbreak. And I would have liked to have seen this shelf through here, so that you can stack pots and more ample stuff under it. So I think that's a bit of a miss, because under here, yes, you can get a thin fry pan or something like that underneath there. Maybe the likes of this under there, but you haven't got too much height. Now if you come over here, on this wing, you're getting a drying rack, a tea towel holder. Down here there's a mesh bin. Again, we can't use it right now because there's too many animals in this campsite. And a washing up device. Now what's interesting here is there's a lot of ample space, a lot of unused space, and I would have really liked to have seen this be just a bit bigger. It's right on the cusp of being able to fit a plate, and we did a wash up on this morning and we just couldn't fit everything in it. So for a family, if it's just a couple, or 3 or maybe, I don't know, there's 5 of us, and we filled it pretty quick. It's also completely detached, which has pros and cons. So I should talk a little bit about the setup actually. The setup of it was pretty straightforward. Didn't have to dip into the instruction manual at any point, which was good. So quite easy to put up and get together. Really no hassles at all with the construction of it. Everything's more or less makes sense, but then there's just spaces of things that are just a bit weird. For example, there's a little catch point here for a lock of some sort, and there's this lock here that you'd think would go into it, but it's just not set up for that at all. So I don't know really what they're for or what they're for. This thing here is, like I said, it's modular, so you can move it. So you can set it up as an L shape if you wanted to, depending on how your campsite is. You can even just take it off somewhere else completely, take it down to sunset and do your dishes while you're watching the sunset if you really want to. So that's kind of cool that it's got that modularness to it, but what I don't like is that you can't attach it, so it can't get the stability of being part of this larger unit at any point. So that's a bit strange. Yeah, so anyway, I think that the tub's okay. The rack should have been a little bit bigger, and I realise that they've probably left a gap there for access to the bin, but I'm not sure how useful that bin's going to be in most Australian environments where you've just got too many animals. So maybe cardboard, bits of paper, stuff like that, but you can never put foodstuffs in there. And in fact, we've got a collapsible Oztrail bin, I think it's Oztrail, bin here that we've been using instead. What would also have been nice is just to have had more flexible uses for the shelving. So you've got this shelf down here, for example, which is keeping your kind of cupboard in place, but it's too big and it doesn't have any sort of clip, so it can't really fit here if you wanted to increase your workspace, or over here in fact. You know, so you're not really being able to use it in a functional way in either of those two spots. So this is some of the curiosities about it. Now, like I said, it was $279. It's easy to set up. It's a little bit heavy and awkward to carry and pack, but it's taking up probably about as much real estate as the previous setup that I had, but providing a bit more functionality. Oh, I should mention there's also a lantern light, a lantern pole here. If you actually still have a lantern, you can just put it there, or a torch or a head torch or something like that. And that's going to allow you to have a bit more light on your situation. We've got 4-wheel drive lights all around this type of thing. So I'm not 100% sold on it. We've actually got a barbecue instead of a stove, so for us this would be much more usable as a hard surface to prepare on, and because there's no flexibility in the materials to turn it into a hard thing, that kind of reduces the use case a little bit for us, might not for you. So that's a couple of things to think about when you're looking at the Oztrail all-in-one kitchen. Well constructed, decent material, couple of curiosities, very specific use case I think, but I still quite like it. Anyway, I'm Chris Stead. Thanks very much for watching. Until next time, you.